What a story. Marie, come to the front. Just listen to this story. Marie shared this morning when she came in. Listen, this is how great our God is. And this is what we need to do, to build each other up. Because when we share great things, what God is doing, what does He do? He builds your faith with what doesn't it? He builds everybody up saying, wow, it's great. Oh my God, Marie, share what
I just remember a few months ago, we asked you to pray for Andrew's father-in-law, Marnie. He's a really ill man, he's got a bad heart, and he had to undergo a couple of more operations. So we asked us to pray for him. And thank God he came through the operations. He was okay. But we also asked you to pray for his finances. Because he lives in South Africa, Cape Town. So he's on private medical insurance. See? And he only had £20,000 left for this operation. So as I say, he came through the operation, he was okay. And I thank you for all your prayers. You know, he was made up. But then 2 weeks later, he got the bill. And the bill was £80,000. And of course, we're devastated. We're devastated. So we went back to the insurance company. And they said, all right, we'll pay £40,000 then, not 20. So they thought, sorry, from him. So he thought, well, that's good, but how can we pay the other 40? So we said, can we help him, you know? And Andrew said, Mum, it's thousands of pounds. You know, I don't know what they're going to do. So that week we just prayed for the whole week, you know. And then Andrew rang us up last Sunday. And he said, amazing news. He said the insurance company has reconsidered. And they're paying the total bill.
Very great God having me right, mate. Isn't that a fantastic story? Right? And nobody can take that away, can they? They can't take that story away. Isn't that brilliant? 80,000 rand. When his grandchildren, when his great-great-grandchildren hear that story, the way God provided us as the family prayed, and all of a sudden God's bank opened up and there was the 80,000 rand to pay for it. You can tell that story must be passed down now, can't it? Isn't that fantastic? That's what it's about. Passing down the stories from generation to generation. How great is our God? Isn't that brilliant? How great is our God? As the children passed these stones and asked them, their parents would be able to give testimony. Joshua 4, verses 5 and 7. And said to them, go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you in the future when your children ask you, what do these stones mean? Tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever. Wow. Isn't it great to tell a story about Jesus, what he's done for us? It's the best, isn't it? I'm going to embrace Mo now. The Holy Spirit has told me to do this, Mo, okay? I hear great stories of Mo. Everywhere I go, I hear great stories of Mo. Honestly, it's fantastic, and I think, wow, it's great. Absolutely great. Somebody came in this week and said to me, they would just love to give her a job because she's so good. She's so good and brilliant. And then I said, I know, she's great, isn't she? And then somebody else said to me, wow, we've known Mo for years and we see her now, and oh, she's amazing. She's amazing. That's what God does. And that's Mo's story. That's Mo's story. It's fantastic, anyway. It's fantastic. What a great God we've got. The children of the next generation inherit the promises that he gave to the previous generation. David explains it like this in Psalm 78, verses 5 to 7. He decreed statutes for Jacob and established the Lord in Israel, which he commanded our forefathers to teach their children. So the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their what? Their children. Then they would put their trust in God and would not forget his deeds, but would keep his commands. It's our responsibility to tell people of the great things of God, what he's done for us. Right? It's okay me sharing about Mo. Right? It's great. But at the end of the day, it's Mo's story. It's Mo's story. And I love telling stories. But I can't tell everyone's story. You've got to tell it yourself. That's our responsibility. Keeping the testimony caused Israel to set their hope in God, which is to sustain their expectation for God to keep his promises through his miraculous invasions of power. Our expectation of God is what determines our level of faith. Testimonies build each other up. And when we build each other up, what happens? Our faith level gets higher and higher and higher and higher. If any of Marie's family now need to go into hospital, they ain't going to worry about how much it's going to cost, are they? Because they've seen that God provides. Is that right? So when they go into hospital, they can have on their mind, oh, should I have this up because I've got no money? They're going to say, I'm going to have it because God's going to provide. Does that make sense? We share his works and wonders. That's what we're here for, to share his works and wonders. If you study the history of Israel in the Old Testament, you'll find that every generation that stopped walking in their covenant with God did so because they forgot what? His works. Psalm 78, verse 9 and 11. The men of Ephraim, though armed with bows, turned back on the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant and refused to live by his law. They forgot what he had done, the wonders he had shown them. They forgot what he had done, the wonders he had shown them. How easy to fall in that trap, to forget what God has done for you. That's why I said a few weeks ago, every day when you get up, thank God for your life. Thank God what he's done for you. Thank God that the clothes you wear, for some of you, I mean, you need to look at, I'm only joking. But thank God for your clothes to wear, your food to eat, everything. Just thank God because he's the one who's provided it. He's the one who has provided it. Give thanks in all things, it says. They had forgotten the testimonies of what God had done for their fathers. That is a picture of the UK today. And what happens when we forget what God has done for us? Read Romans 1 and see what happens to a nation when he doesn't remember what God has done for you. When you go back today, your homework this week is to read Romans 1. And you read it when a nation or when people turn their back on God and forget what he's done for them, these things happen. And you read Romans 1, look at our nation and say, wow. It is a bad way, not a good way.